Hello there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I'm starting out a little late today. My apologies. This is show number 99. That's terrifying. I've done 99 of these shows, and I still feel like it's my first. So, welcome to the show. I'm happy you're here. Today's going to be a really, really open chat show. You can see I'm cash. I'm wearing my bathing suit. I'm ready. Vernon! Yay! Thanks for being here. Yay! Thank you. Wearing my bathing suit, pretending summer's not almost over. I'm in total weather denial. Remember, I'm from California, and this whole seasonal thing is kind of annoying, quite frankly. I've been here 20 years in New York, and I can't get used to it. I want my sunshine back. Okay, sorry. I'm a little hyper tonight. Had a crazy rough day. I want to know how you're doing. Because this COVID thing, ay, 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 this is out of control. I have talked to so many really, really lonely people, and it's like, oh my God, this is insane. Um, so, welcome to the show. If you're here for the first time, please say hi. Don't be shy. This is just a chat. Say hi, whatever. Tell me what you think, you know? And any topic you want to talk about is probably included in the agenda. This week's discussion topic, as always, includes anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. And unfortunately, that's pretty much everything at this point. We're at an insanely crazy time. People need to talk. The show is meant to really vent your feelings. Everybody on here is not going to be spot on, perfect, eloquent. It doesn't matter. It matters what you think. And I really mean that. All right. Because that's what this is here for. Call it like I don't know, a venting show. Call it what you want. I made a couple of videos today, but I'll talk about them a little bit later. Um, the show's meant to be an opportunity for viewers, as I said, to speak your mind and also to serve as an educational tool for white people to learn the truth about systemic racism. Mr. FS Black, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm really happy you're here. I need Vernon and Mr. FS Black's input. I need to know what's going on and what people are thinking because this is getting really, I mean, I knew it would get more insane. I'm, kind of hint, but this is bad. It's really bad. And Gary, welcome. Yay, I'm happy you're here. So if you're a white person watching, and if you're watching it live or not watching it live, try to learn something from this. I mean, some things you might piss you off, some things you might actually learn. If you learn one thing, then more power to you. So don't be shy. And if you are new, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to build my channel. And what I want it to be is an introduction for white folks, a platform for people who are brown, black, indigenous, African American, um, whatever non-white, I guess you could say. I want to know what you think because, see, white America needs to know what you think. You don't owe us or anybody what you think. It's a gift. Ronald, hi. Thank you. It's a gift. When somebody gives you a piece of their heart and tells you how they feel, it is a gift. I'm sorry, I don't go by this societal norms, money bullshit stuff. I'm sick of it. It makes me sick. We are not all made for this society. Some of us are made for just being there for others. And yeah, we all have to eat and all that. Mario J, hello. Thanks for being here. And I have some stuff to tell you about Mario too, but I don't want to give it away. I've been watching some of his videos. They're amazing. And you guys have to check out his stuff. All right. So I have a couple of them on my channel, but I need to get a couple hundred more on there. He's a go-to guy. He's really amazing. But not everybody born into this society fits into the little mold that the society wants to shove us into. A lot of people blame themselves. You know how when you break up with somebody and you say, Mario, it's true. I speak, this is real talk. I speak the truth. Thank you. Love your stuff. So passionate. Okay, I'll be quiet. I'm going to stick to the agenda, but I will be back with you. People don't always fit into the little mold that society forces us into. There are so many human constructs we can't see straight practically if we only knew. And you know what? Some of us weren't born for those. We just weren't. We're different. Doesn't mean we're better, or it just means we're different. So do not let somebody else define who you are. Sometimes, in the cliche breakup, oh, it's me, not you. And it's them. Sometimes it really is the other guy. It really is. And you know what? It's kind of something I wanted to say, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but when a young Black man approached me online and tried to get to know me, and he said something to me that I will never forget in my life. This is a couple of years ago. He said, and I'm not trying to make myself special, but this just hit me like a God. I actually was in tears because I can't stand it. Mr. Travis Black, I've noticed a lot of white supremacists eagerly coming out of the woodwork behind the shooting of those protesters. Oh my God, it's insanity. Yeah, it's sick. We'll get into it. I want to hear what you guys have to say because I don't have a ton planned tonight. But when you say this young man, he was like 18, he was like a kid, to me, I'm kind of old. He was like a kid, and he said, I don't even know who he is. He said, I just wanted to write to you and tell you that you're the first person that made me feel like it wasn't me. And I was like, oh my God. And I want people to know, I want Black people, brown people, indigenous people, people who don't fit into what this society demands of us. It's us. It's not you. And not everybody needs that. Not that you need my approval, but I promise if you need that, I speak the truth. It's not you. This is some fucked up shit we're living in. This is bullshit. And don't ever think it's you. I don't care who's pounded it into your head that, society has. It's us. It's not me personally. It's not you personally, but it's white supremacy in the society that we have allowed to continue. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. All right. Hey, Pat, how's it going? Because you know what? I'm not the most brilliant person in the world, but I saw this shit when I was 6 years old. I didn't even know what it was. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? I was like, why aren't we talking about this? Why are we pretending everything's fine? I was so confused. So that's my truth is I don't hate white people. So don't even go there. People always try to say that to me. And I just like, hey, whatever makes you happy. If that's how you have to think. I love white people. I love all people. What I don't like is people who are inhumane and cruel to our brothers and sisters. We're all related. Sorry to break the news, guys. We're all related, We're all distant relatives. It's kind of incestuous, quite frankly, but never mind me. I'll go on. Jamie, hello. During these COVID times, this is nuts. We got to stick together, you guys. I'm serious. What's going on right now is one of the most really catastrophic things I think have ever really happened to our country. Like, I need to tell you that. But anyway, let me do my intro and we'll get into stuff you guys want to talk about. This isn't going to be a really long show unless you jump in and call, which I do have the number for if you'd like it. I should just post it, but geez, it is. Get pencils ready if you want. Actually, Kim, oh my gosh, get a life. I will post it right here. Hopefully, not too many trollish people are listening. Post it right here. That's the number. Please wait till I'm done with the rant because I cannot take calls during a rant because I'm ranting, right? But I wanted to thank everyone for being here and thank you so much to those who send me all this information throughout the day. I cannot keep up. Jamie, I can't believe how Trump is defending the 17-year-old boy who killed 2 protesters. Yes, he's mentally ill. Both, all of the above. And no, I'm not a psychiatrist, but you know what? I've been around for a while. It doesn't take a professional. The man is a wreck. So yeah, it's really, really, really sad. I feel horrible for, for people who fall into that. It's just really sick shit. I don't want anyone killed. This country, you got me in a rant here. This country believes in the sanctity of life. is bullshit. No, we don't. We believe in the sanctity of life, if we know the person. Well, we're one handshake away from total unknown stranger to friend. And I'll tell you, that handshake is huge. One handshake away. Nobody lets their friends get abused like this. Like not knowing somebody and knowing somebody. It's like worlds away. And then you reach your hand out, not during COVID, and you say, "Hi, how are you?" And it's like, it's another world. And that says it all to me. Gary, a former Facebook friend, was defending the shooter and blaming the protesters. Former cop. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, we got some uneducated people. And I mean, that's the biggest part of the problem, the uneducated part of it. So this is a tough one. It's got to kill you to have people like that. Things are going to get worse, and they are getting worse. I'm seeing some a lot more threats online. I don't know if are you guys seeing people making threats like, "Oh, you wait and see," or we're all arming, or we're all this. This is some scary, scary stuff, and we just need leadership more than ever. So I got a couple of videos I want to show you. I want to get your kind of what you think about it. Some of these videos, if you don't mind, get your opinion. And I want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So let me just run through this announcement. I can be reached if you want to reach me personally. I will write back eventually. I know that sounds so rude, but you can get me personal contact. It's a long story. Just find a way to message me privately, and I'd be happy to. I will interview anybody who has a story to tell if it means something to them. It doesn't have to be breaking news. It doesn't have to be something that everybody's impacted by. If somebody treated you poorly because of the color of your skin, because of your religion, because you're not rich, or because they're corrupt as you know what, I will tell your story, and I'll tell it the way you want it, and you will be the one to say yes or no. You say no anytime, I delete it. It's not about me. I want to tell the story of the average person because you matter. And that's what I love to do, actually, is interview people who are not famous, but you're a human being and you matter, and your experience can help people move along. Because white folks need to hear this. They need to hear it from you, not from me. I mean, a little bit from me, because some people are so racist, they won't even listen to people who aren't like lily white like they are, but they're really, really, really low on the continuum of anti-racism. But some people, kitchen politics, yahoo, I'm happy you're here. Some people can learn vicariously. And when you tell your story, and when you like the interview I did with my friend that I just adore, we're friends now, and I love this guy. He was the one of the head leaders of the Mississippi Aryan Brotherhood. He was the leader, basically. And it's really crazy, because when you hear that, you're like, what? But I had so many misperceptions. Oh my God, it was crazy. So many. And I learned more from that guy. Oh my God, I love him. He's a great person. Lee, what do you get out of talking about Black people, I'm assuming, or brown people? Or I talk about what I get out of it is, that's a good question. It's all about me. I'll be really honest, okay? Brutally honest. I was 6 years old when I saw racism for the first time. I didn't know what I was seeing. I was 6 years old. I was like, this stoogey little dingbat, not too different from the way I am right now. And I was like, what? In my little kid mind, I was like, what the actual F-U-C-K? But I didn't talk that way because I was 6, the rules. Okay. But I was like, okay, why are the adults just like watching this and not like, what's going on here? This is so wrong. I didn't understand. I was confused. I was like, am I imagining this? Nobody else is saying anything. What the hell? And it's a really lonely place to be, Lee. I hope that no one's ever had to live like that. It's a lonely place to be because I saw it and I felt it and I didn't understand what was going on. And then I grew up and it wasn't going away. And I started, thank God, I was like around 12 when I kind of caught on to what was happening. And it was my father that hinted me. I didn't get it. And I'm not going to go off on a rant, but this is, I mean, you asked a good question. What I get out of it is the truth and being able to talk about it and stop living a lie. I had to live a lie. I hated it. I don't want to live a lie. I'm a white person. You know what? What I get out of it is the truth. And I'm not sure if that's really a great, what are you doing for erasing racism? Oh, that is a great question. I run a whole bunch of groups educating people about our real racial history. And I can't erase racism, but I can help white folks move up the continuum of understanding and education and support. Because most white folks, they literally do not have a single friend who isn't white like them. They don't have a single friend who's not their exact religion, or, maybe they're not religious. They don't have a single friend that's Muslim. They don't have a single friend that's Jewish. They don't have a single friend that's whatever. They don't understand. We are all humans. Race is a human construct. So I start at the very beginning and I try to educate people bottom up to just, you know what? Give it a try. Find out, learn, stop believing the propaganda and the lies. These are people. I think whites come in clothing. I don't really know what you mean, so you're gonna have to explain yourself. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. So my story is this. My dad actually is the only thing he's ever said to me about race in his entire life. And oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, you think that white people come in, you mean they're trying to do something because they doing one thing and doing and like saying one thing and doing another. So you don't trust white people. Is that kind of what you're saying? Yes or no? Kind of? Sheep's clothing, like they're, oh, the white people gather intel? Okay, explain more. I'm very naive. What do you mean? Like that that they're disingenuous, that they're not honest. Is that what you're saying? They're doing something, but they really are trying to do something else or whatever. Um, okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I don't trust them either. I don't, because I'm here on the planet and it's really bad. They have to earn my trust. Everyone does. And it's sad case. Racism, systemic racism should have been gone centuries ago. I mean, it's barbaric. It's, in my mind, it is a crime against humanity. You shouldn't trust me. You shouldn't. Don't trust me. Nothing I can say. Great God, you're good. I need you on the show. There is nothing I can say that should make you trust me. The only thing that's going to make you trust me ever, if you ever do, is my behavior over time. And that's it. And you know what? You may never trust me. And it's because we've earned it. I don't know if I've personally earned it. I don't know. But we've earned it. And the way it goes, that's something I live with. But okay, thank you. And you to me too. I put my little, okay, literally I was kicked off Facebook because they didn't tell me why, but I was kicked off for life. So I'm not technically on here, but yeah, I just, there's nothing I can do because as a group, we've earned it. I'm sorry, we have earned it. And I start all over with every single person I meet. And it's just a fact of life, It's really sad, but it's us, not you. Okay, let's put it that way. There's not every person in every group is perfect, but let me tell you, it's not you. Has to put it. White folks have done some really, really bad things, and it doesn't mean that from this second forward we can't do better. But pretending we haven't done bad things and pretending our racial history isn't what it is total bullshit, and that's not helping anybody. I'm not living a lie. I won't do it. I lived a lie. I'm not doing it. I mean, I was a little kid, but still, I lived a lie. Are you afraid of what you have to give up to whiteness? No. No. I mean, maybe, I don't know. You afraid of what you have to give up to whiteness? No, not really. I've been doing this for a really long time. I don't want to live in a world where my fellow humans treated like a piece of shit. I don't know how else to put it. This is all about me. I mean, I know it's also to be white centered, but it's all about me. I'm being really real here. I don't want to live in a world where my neighbor dies of something that's curable. I don't want to live in a world where my neighbor doesn't have a house. That's fucked up. It's like we live in the richest country in the world and we have homeless people? That's a choice. Just like being racist is a choice. I wasn't raised racist, but I live in a society that's racist as fuck. So, of course, I'm influenced, and I, every white person in my mind, whether it's implicit bias from the very minimum to absolutely, the most overt racist, we all have racism in us. White folks do. It's not our fault. It is only our fault when we have it and do nothing about it because we're enjoying it way too much. That is us. That's on us. It's called racial responsibility. I don't feel guilty one bit for things that have happened in the past. I didn't do it. But the things that happen now, I will not stand and do nothing. I won't be an observer because I might as well be doing it myself. I hear I wasn't racist. Oh, God. Yeah, everyone says that. You wouldn't believe this nation has no racist people in it. When you bring out the map, I hear I wasn't racist. I wasn't raised racist. Oh, yeah. You're tired of it. When I say I wasn't raised like as an overt, of course I was raised racist because I'm from a white family in a white society. What I mean by that is it's a good call. What I mean by that is like my friend Dixon White. He said, my family was racist as hell. They said the N word. They did this. They did that. I was really lucky. I got nothing. I got my family had friends from everywhere, but they didn't say anything. I was raised in the era of colorblindness. Stay safe because there's some crazy people out there appreciate you. Oh, thanks. It's okay. I've gotten death threats. I don't care. I mean, I care. I called the police. They came. I've gotten death threats. I've had all that stuff. I don't care. Some things are worth it. I'm sorry. I don't want to die, but you know what? I think I'll be okay. Because here's the bottom line. We're all going to die sometime. What makes you an ally? Oh, God, you have so many good questions. This is amazing. Let me okay, I'm like losing my train of thought. I had a really rough day. What makes me an ally, and if I get me to go back to things, I'm just all over the place. It's a long story. You don't want to hear it. Nothing to do with anything here. What makes me an ally is nothing. I don't claim to be an ally. Being an ally is not something a white person professes. I'm an ally. That's like saying like I'm brilliant. It's like if you have to talk about it, maybe you're not as smart as you think. Being an ally is nothing. It's not words, it's actions. It's what you do. It's our behavior over time. I am not the kind of person who would say like I'm an ally. That's so arrogant. That is actually pushing that's pushing my white supremacy. Like it's not my place to say whether I am. That's the people who have been oppressed for centuries. That's their place. That's their like thing. I don't know. I'm not hoping I'm not explaining it right. Standing on truth. You just speak the truth on what is wrong. Right. I keep it real and real according to, obviously when I say I was raised not racist, I mean not overtly racist. Like my friend Dixon, he's like, oh my God, my family was so racist. And I'm like, no, my family wasn't so racist. But they also didn't teach me anything. I was raised in the era of colorblind, where we don't see color. And my parents just so happened to have friends of everything. I didn't know that was unique. I didn't know that was a unique thing. I thought that was how life was. So when I started to see real serious racism, I was like, what's wrong with these people? Because I didn't get raised to hate, but I also didn't get raised to understand what I was seeing. So implicit bias, oh yeah, I have implicit bias. Absolutely. And I know exactly how I got it too. I have a video on it. I did how I got implicit bias. Not all of the reasons I did, but like I'll name a couple of them. It's the video is called I'm Racist and Why You Are Too, or something like that. It offends everybody. I don't even care. The point is, You cannot not be. Thank you, Vernon. You're so sweet. Vernon is my sweet friend who's going to call in right tonight, who's going to get on this show sometime. I appreciate it. But to me, it's okay. Let me get back to where Jamie, you're a blessing because you're truly trying to make a difference in this country by teaching what racism is. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie is my sweet friend. See, I have a lot of like really close friends on here, so that's so you're hearing people who know me, and nobody has to think that. They get to come up with that themselves and follow what I do. You tell me. I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Lee, I just educate myself every day. I'll never get there. I'll never know what it's like. I will never truly live it or feel it. Never. But I will try till the day I die because that is important to me. See, I told you it was all about me. I'm serious. I do this for me because I can't stand injustice. It makes me like want to just. I don't condone it, but I understand what turns Little Miss Hand into Little Miss Throttle. I cannot stand injustice, especially for people who are being marginalized already. So that's okay. Hang on a second. Blah, blah, blah. Nails and glitter. Hello. Let me just back it up here. I'm missing things. Okay. Like a democratic racist. Oh, there's democratic. Yeah. See, it's all kind of like, oh, how do I explain? What I want to standing up to self-awareness is truly what you yes, I want to exactly. I want to find out what I'm thinking and I want to confront it head on. And yes, I feel horrible if I do something that's like racist. Oh my God. I have all those reactions like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, Kim, okay, I'm going to actually say what I say. I say, shut the fuck up and learn from it. I say, be quiet. I talk to myself that way. I'm kind of mean to myself. I say, it's not about you. You messed up. You didn't mean it, but it doesn't matter. Intent does not count. Like, oh, I didn't mean it. Well, that's lovely. That's a good thing. If you meant it, it's pretty like, and I say, yeah, I probably lost a friend. I probably blew it. And the only thing I can do is learn from it. And if I learn from it, then I got to keep going. And yeah, it's very humbling. And I learn something every day. I don't mess up like that every day, but I mess up. White people are indoctrinated into white supremacy. It's not by chance. It's purposeful. So I was too. I'm sorry. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. But it's too late. I'm old. So the only thing I can do is raise kids who will never do nothing when somebody is being abused, hurt, discriminated against. And that's my goal. And that's what all white people should do. Do the best they can. Don't continue the cycle of racism. It's got to be bottom up. We're getting nothing from top down. The man is the de facto leader of the modern Ku Klux Klan. He's not going to help us learn and become self-aware so that we can act like freaking humans. So it's got to be bottom up. So white folks, time to step up to the plate. Let me just catch up. I love questions. I'd rather have comments and banter all day than go over my stupid little things here. But okay, I got to get to me, it's Starbucks style racism. Explain what you mean by that. Like if you can tell me more, I want to know. Because I'm not 100%. Like when they think Starbucks for white people, I think girls that like are from the valley and they wear like Uggs and like I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. So I'm old. Humor me and tell me. Nails and glitter. Democrats contribute to this racist system just like the Republicans. Absolutely. Every last one of us that is white does. Purposefully, not purposefully, it's a lifelong venture. It doesn't have to be this hard. But because there are people called the wealthiest elite, white folks, who are working against us because they benefit from white folks in the masses thinking that Black people are the cause of all their problems, which is absolutely ludicrous. It's a bold-faced lie. It's disgusting, but that's what we do. And we fall for it every time. And that is why I encourage people to educate themselves. If you're a beginner, go on my site, look at my 101, Anti-Racism 101, that's for the beginners, and educate yourself and let it sink in. Don't watch it all in one day. It's not like, watching that 24, what's called that show 24 that like you can binge watch. No, you need time to process this. I will undo everything you've ever known about yourself. Not on purpose, but because you've been indoctrinated to white supremacy. It's not your fault. It's only your fault if you sit there and do nothing. Don't do nothing. Learn. It's not rocket science. I promise. I'm no genius. It's not rocket science. You just have to care. That's it. Just care. Blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. But yeah, nails and glitter. Oh, that's a big, big can of worms, and it needs to be discussed because white folks, I mean, we are at the continuum. It is a steep, like, okay, it's like practically a straight up learning curve for us. It's a lifetime thing. And some of us just aren't even on the curve. We won't delve into why we do this. We just won't. And I don't speak for all white people, but I certainly speak as a white person. And it is way past time that white folks step up to the freaking plate, not as leaders, not as, oh, I'm the leader. I got myself on Facebook and a picture and look at me. No, as humble support. We follow. And that's a hard thing to do because Black, brown, and indigenous people are not a monolith. We got to find out who we are with it and find a way. You got to find who to follow, basically, because you can't follow everybody because, as you know, there are Trumpian Black people who are Trump supporters. I don't get it. It's not my place, but there are. So you find a way that you think makes sense and you find someone who can mentor you. And that's what I did. I read, I learn, I had mentors like you couldn't believe. And now I just have like a ton of friends who, help me and I interact with people and I find my way and I study and I look into things. And my newest stuff has been looking back in history. John Brown, I'd never read about an abolitionist. I was like, most abolitionists, they were abolitionists, but they didn't really like Black people. Truth. Okay. Now, Quakers are a whole nother story. Quakers like bow down to the Quakers. I'm sorry. You got to just bow down to them. They just get it. It's called being human. I don't get how they get it. But a lot of abolitionists basically saw what's going on and they think, yeah, it's not very nice to treat them that way. That's really horrible. But, they're not really like us. And that's not equality. But John Brown was the first person I ever read about who, holy shit, that guy meant business. And he died for it. And he was, as far as I could tell from what I've read and studied, he was absolutely okay with it. And so let me get back to questions. Let me see. So teach me what Starbucks style racism is. I'll look down. I know you probably wrote it down there. But yeah, the whole Democrat and Republican thing, it's basically like there's evil and then there's basically evil. And let's just put it this way, and I'll just say this one time. And this is how I feel. Hate me for it, love me for it, could care less about me for it. This election has nothing to do with Democrats and Republicans. I wish it did. That would be very simple and easy. It doesn't. It has to do with one simple thing. Whether we're going to keep our, whatever you call it, Democratic Republic, Democratic Oligarchy Republic, whatever, whether we're going to keep it or whether we are going to be a dictatorship. As I said, I'm no rocket scientist, but I can read history. This isn't rocket science. Late stage democracies go one of two ways. They go dictatorship, and under dictatorship, we don't get a vote, neither do you. So hold your vote back as you will, but it might be your last chance. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not threatening that. I don't know. I hope it's not, but it's not looking good. Even if Biden does win, I think there's still a really good chance we're screwed. It's too late. Okay. I don't know. These are all different. They all are different, but it's This is a really scary area we're in right now. And I don't know if people really get that. I think people listening probably do, but I don't know if people really truly get this is not a game. America as you live it. Guys, he's found loopholes. I mean, say what you will about the founding fathers. They wrote a pretty damn cool document. Yeah, they weren't perfect people. In fact, a lot of them were corrupt as fuck. They held human beings and pretended that they were not human beings. They enslaved people. That's fucked up. Okay, it doesn't mean they weren't genius in writing this document. They knew slavery was going to end. Are you kidding me? Go to Washington D.C. and Jefferson spells it right out on the wall of his memorial. He knew he wasn't able to live up to a standard of humanity that is just not even, you don't even credit for that. He knew the founding fathers were flawed men, but does that mean that they didn't write a brilliant document? It's all we have right now. So it doesn't matter what we think. It's all we have. And Trump circumvented it. And I'll tell you one thing, the Confederacy, the head of the Confederacy, they hated the founding fathers because they were liberals. Yeah, you heard me right. They were liberals. They considered them to be obnoxious liberals. That they would ever think or dare to consider ending slavery they found that to be obnoxious. I have a copy of the Cornerstone speech in my on my YouTube channel. It's the most vile speech I've ever heard in my entire life, like through and through. It's the entire thing. This dude that's actually he got a hold of me and said, you're posting my stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's really good. And he's like, okay, just give me credit. So I gave him credit because I'm not really good with this YouTube stuff, but he read the entire Cornerstone speech, and it is basically outlines the Constitution of the Confederacy of the the states, Confederacy of America, or what was it called? The United States of Confederacy. I'm blowing it, but I don't know what it was called because I'm blanking on it. What can I say? It was not pretty. So anyway, other questions. So it's all relative how we look at everything. Lee, what do you want to accomplish in your realm of life? Okay, you're going to laugh because this might not seem like a lot. I mean, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to take my last breath, like before I keel over and die or however that works, and be able to say to myself, Kim, you did everything you could to try to make the world a better place when you were here. And that's it. I have other goals, but I'm talking about this stuff. That is my goal. I want to do whatever I have in my power, which isn't a lot. I'm not rich and famous. I don't have a huge audience, but I care a ton. And it's from the heart. And so that's my goal, is to 1 second before I die and I'm gone from this planet, is to be able to say, you know what? You did your best. And if I reach one person and changed one person's life, then I'm out and I'm happy. And that doesn't seem like a big goal, but to me it is. So that is, I don't know if that's what you were expecting me today, but let me, thank you. That's good questions. Jeez. Let me see. Uh-oh. I scrolled and now I missed tons of people. Okay, I'm going to get back to where I was. Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm like taking a second here. Oh, got it finally. Vernon, education definitely helps. I'm ADOS, right? And I'm learning daily and always reading American descendants of slavery and what that. Okay, if you're new to this, what that means is that his ancestors were. Sorry if I like jumping. And about 80% of the Black people, from what I've read, people like to fluctuate it, but it doesn't matter anyway, because Black people, brown people, if somebody thinks you are Black, they put you in that category anyway, so you're treated that way. But it does matter in the sense that your history, you know your own history, okay? If you were adopted and your parents were African and they wanted you to come to America, for example, then you are not ate us because your parents or let you be adopted because they wanted you to come here. Big difference. If your ancestors were forced here, rendered as non-human, and then forced to do unconscionable things and treated worse than animals. And that means that your ancestors were enslaved by white people in America, right? And I always get the people like, oh, the whole world has slavery. Well, you know what? I don't give a shit. I live here. I see why we can't seem to straighten out our act and treat people like humans. It's because we're in total denial. And if we know our real racial history, I mean, it is what it is. It was really ugly, but we're still doing it. That's the thing. And, a lot of people say, oh, it's history. Well, it's not history if we're still freaking doing it. That's not history. That's happening now. And it is happening now. And people need to wake the hell up and start caring. And I personally think this generation needs to step to the plate and it's not rocket science. Start giving a shit about our fellow humans. I just don't get it. But anyway, I'm ranting. Let me keep taking questions. Yeah. So Vernon, absolutely. You just keep learning. Even if you're not a white person, you keep learning and keep learning because it's been hidden history. It's been purposely hidden. And there's nothing by accident about this. Okay. So let me see. Lee, explain how are some of the ways racism is taught from folks around you? Oh my goodness gracious. Let me count the ways. Okay, I'll give you a couple of examples. I don't know if you mean me personally or just people in general. Which example is the best example for me to do? I'm going to say when I was a little girl, really teeny, and I just remember this because I don't know, I remember it. I remember at night, I'd sneak out of my bed, of course. There were 3 of us, all within a year. So 3 little teeny, way too much for one person to handle. We'd sneak out, we'd peer around the corner. I'd see my parents watching TV. And I didn't know what they were watching, but I was like, yahoo, we were rambunctious. 3 little girls. And I'd see every night that I did that, and I didn't remember it or think twice about it. It was all subliminal. I'd see what I was seeing is I was seeing Black people with this band over their eyes on TV. Like there was a zoop over their eyes, like covering up their identity. Now I know that, but I didn't know what I was seeing. And they'd be in cuffs and there'd be police around, or they'd be in cuffs, or there'd be bright lights. I mean, I'd go down and be like, what are they watching? And I'd see they're watching, they were watching the 11 o'clock news in Los Angeles is what they were watching. And in the olden days, when I was little, they did the lineup. And every night they would show Black, brown, and, people who were non-white in cuffs. And I don't know why they did this. I was like 2 or 3. I don't know why. And every time I came down, that's what I'd see. Maybe sometimes I wouldn't, but the next time I would. Did I remember this at the time? No. That is how implicit bias is taught. I thought, wow, I didn't know what Black was. I was a baby. But I knew it's in your mind, like they're in cuffs. They're in cuffs. They're in cuffs. I knew what a naughty bad person was or whatever who was in cuffs, right? What is this teaching a kid? It's teaching them. I didn't have Black people walking around. Those are the only Black people I've ever seen. I didn't know what Black was. I didn't hate them for being Black. They were the people in cuffs. Talk about teaching a kid implicit bias. They were the people in handcuffs. I hope that's kind of an example. I mean, that's how it's done. It's freaking, we're indoctrinated. Indoctrinated. I don't know. And I have lots of other examples, but I want to bore you. Great questions. I appreciate it. Stand through. I know that you are a mother and your children have, thank you. Have a great role model. You know what? Thank you. That is all I ever wanted. I know that sounds dramatic and like, stop getting emotional. I learned the hard way that when you're raising kids, you really don't have a ton of control. And the one thing you can do is teach them about the sanctity of life. Not their life, not your life, all life. And I know it sounds dramatic. I don't kill a bug in front of my kids. I don't smash something for my convenience. I'm not perfect, but I'll tell you, when there's a spider, I take it, catch it, and bring it out. And you might think, oh, please, come on. You know, no, I won't. Because you know what? That's how it starts, is by role modeling. That doesn't matter. Smash it. It's like, whoa. Okay. That's how it starts when you're a little kid. And I'm not great anything, but I know that teaching and role modeling that things matter. When I see a dog in the street, I don't just run by it, stop. I stop whatever I'm doing. And I make sure it's okay and make sure it finds its owner. And yeah, it's really inconvenient. But think about the lesson that teaches your kids. That lesson is like a life lesson. And yeah, I have a lot of privilege to be able to do that. Some people can't do that. They can't call in for work and they can't stop for a second and they can't. But anything like that that you can do is all I've ever wanted to do for my kids. And they are not perfect, but so help me God, they knew growing up that they better find their voice and use it. And I don't know how it happened, but they have. I've seen, in fact, maybe a little too much. It's a long story. I have serious stories that maybe my kids are very passionate, and let's just say one of my kids was found with her little hands around the throttling this kid that was 4 years older than her because he dared to use the word gay in a derogatory manner. And she was only 8 and he was like almost 13. And I came down like, what's going on? And she said, he used the word gay and it was not in a nice way. It was derogatory. And I said, okay, let's just, and he goes, I don't even know what it means. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's like, it's a, you got to teach this stuff. But I'm like, he doesn't even know what it means. Come on, stop. But it's a lesson. It's, you got to raise your kids to love all their humans. And no, you won't be perfect. But yeah, that means that is all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me. Okay, enough about me, for God's sakes. Okay. Thank you very much, Standing on Truth. I appreciate that. You kind of like got me all. Okay. What are the ways? Okay, what are the ways? Sure what you are referring to, of course, because I've been blabbing this whole time. Tell me again, like with a full question, and I will tell me what ways of what, or maybe I answered it. But I'm happy to answer anything. I'm pretty much an open book. Pretty much, I'd say, except for the secrets I have. No, just kidding. Nails and glitter. Nobody's perfect, but recognizing the issue is half the battle. Absolutely. And people who don't recognize it, I've gotten kind of like wary in my old age. Like, I mean, I don't debate Trump supporters. I don't. And I know that sounds like snobby or rude or whatever, but if at this point in life you're still a Trump supporter, there's no debate. I will not debate my fellow humans' civil and human rights. There's no debate. It's not a controversial issue. So, I mean, what am I going to say to the person? Point one, you're an asshole. I mean, what am I going to say to them? Excuse me as I choke. But yeah, I mean, what am I going to say to these people? They're inhumane. I mean, I can't talk them into being humane. So, I mean, I can only take people who are like, kind of want to learn or like are curious. I've taken people who are really low down on the like anti-racism scale, but like they're curious. They want to know. And if you don't want to know, forget it. That's why I don't go on those sites anymore. I just can't. I don't talk to people. If they're that way, then they're too far gone. This is obvious. This is not like some secret. Trump is overtly racist. He's out of control. Okay. Not when he was a president. He started way before that. Look up his history. People are just losing their shit. What he's done as president is exactly what I thought he'd do. He's just way better at it than I thought he would be. Okay. And I thought he'd be pretty bad. But nails and glitter, awesome point as always. Safani, you are all right in my book. What? Why did I become a Black Republican? Oh no. Did you tell me more? I want to know. I'm not like, oh, you're inhumane if you're a Black Republican. I I want to know. I don't get it. So I'm here to learn too. Every show I learn like tons of stuff, not just one thing, lots. Lakeisha, yay! I hope you're still here. I hope you're still here. I've been blabbing. Lee, Starbucks style. Okay, okay. So you kind of, what should the reparations for foundational Black folks look like to you? You know, that is a question people ask me a lot. Um, I have like 15 answers. And first of all, I rarely answer for the simple reason that that's inconsequential. I do not choose as a white person in the oppressor group. I don't get to say, well, this is how we solve it. Let me tell you. No, I don't know how better to solve it than the people living it. Of course, I have my own ideas. I am human, but it is not my place to suddenly jump in and be the hero to solve and, whatever. Of course, I have ideas. I'm alive on the planet. First of all, every form of systemic racism needs to be absolutely dismantled. You can give reparations as monetary, money and whatnot till the sun don't shine. But unless we get rid of systemic racism, what's that going to do? Last a year, 2, 4, 10? We need people to get generational. We need it to go like this. We need the life expectancy of Black people to be like this with white. The same. We need equity. So do I have plans? If they put me in charge, of course I have great plans. And I loved that Black people in 2016 and this year put it on the table, made reparations come out. Because when they did their little, the Congress people did their little chat about racism and reparations every 10 years, I knew nothing would come of it. It's basically they're walking the walk. They're not doing anything. But when Marianne Williamson and Black Lives Matter and all the people who are trying to educate and push for justice and a society that is better than we were before, a more perfect union, I guess is the way people put it. I was thrilled because just that lady and Black Lives Matter and all the people who've been working and working to get it on the table, it forced every single person other than on the Democratic side to have a stance. And if they didn't have a stance, they really stood out. So it got it on the ticket. And I've never seen it on the ticket like that before. So when she came out and when it was good, it was good. But part of it is that white folks need to not be the heroes, not lead, not, no. They need to get their ass to step up to the plate. We need to step up to the plate and act human. And that means we learn. It's simple. We learn about our real racial history. Learn our real racial history. It's history. Okay, just like history. We do that. We learn the 30 cliche, ridiculous denials of racism. There's about 30. There's not that many more. People are not that creative. We learn to debunk them. We find our voice. We learn to stand up for what's right. Not because there's a Black person there, but because we're there. And that's a big difference. Because we're there, and that's not okay. Not because we're just so great, we're perfect. One of my videos I actually said, yes, I do it because I'm so perfect. No. I do it because it's the freaking right thing to do. And I actually kind of like being a human. Animals can respond with fear and they just can't think. They're paralyzed with fear. They can't use their, cognitive abilities, their, analytical skills, constructive reasoning. No, they just react. Well, we aren't supposed to be animals. We are supposed to feel something and then be able to put the brakes on and say, you know, that's not okay. I'm not thinking right. Or is that really right? Or analyze it. Or it's called critical thinking. And it's a little painful, but that's why we're human. That's the cool part of being human. So we need to use it. So anyway, oh, you got me on a rampage. Um, so I'd have to write. I mean, it would be different if our society were like right now, we're so divided. It would have to look, I mean, there's the economic side. I have so much to say. Outstanding. But yeah, I have lots to say about that. And I absolutely support Black folks who believe, like ADOS, believe in reparations. But I also think that, I mean, it really needs to be an end and a dismantling of systemic racism. Because, like, I don't want to see, I mean, it just, if we get that close, we got to end this. We got to stop this bullshit, you know, so that the next generation, the next generation, the next don't have to deal with it. It shouldn't have gone this far. It's sick. In 2020, God, I can't normalize it. So this, I don't know, probably a good thing. Okay, great question. We love Dixon White. You know what? Dixon White is somebody who I am. I can say, like, I haven't been in touch with him lately, but I was extremely close friends with him, and I still feel very close with him. I've done interviews with him. I know his life story. He's an incredible human being. He was raised overtly racist, and he is an amazing man. He had to really figure it all out. See, I was really lucky. I wasn't raised overtly racist, obviously raised racist because I'm in the society, but he was, I mean, his family was like spewing this, you know, I mean, it was, and he did it. He's a great man. He's the one who got me to start doing videos a bunch of years back. And then I just kind of got serious about it once I got kicked off of Facebook for life. But he's the one who said to do videos, and it took me 3 years to even write a comment on Facebook. That's how shy I was. So if you believe me, maybe you don't believe me, but believe me. So yeah, Dixon's amazing. He's amazing. He's an inspiration to me, and I will always love him. Don't tell his wife that. Kitchen politics, trust, but vary. Gain trust over time. Mm-hmm. Wow, that shows me how far back I am. Reparations and how that looks shouldn't be decided by white folks, right? Exactly. It's inconsequential what we think. It's like we had our chances to save the day. Too late for that. Mm-hmm. And you know, just recently, about 5 or 6 people said, we want you to say you support reparations. So I support reparations. That's about as far as I'll go. And I'll explain, obviously, a monetary thing is great, but we got to dismantle this stuff. What about the next generation and the next and the next? It's just, oh my God. But yeah, it's not my place. It's not my place. Thank you, Nails and Glitter. As always, standing on truth. They were her property, white women as slave owners in the American South, book by yes. I should read that book. Yes, I've heard of that before, and somebody's told me, maybe it was you, somebody else has told me actually to read that book. I got to make a confession. Most recently, I did a video on the history of women, and it was a brief video because people just don't even want to watch a video that's more than like 3 minutes. And you know how I blab on, but I did a video on the history of white women with a little bit of voting stuff, and Frederick Douglass in it. And I would love for you to see that. It's like my, maybe the last one I put up or the second to last one that I put up. And I was not nice. I was not coddling. I did not account for white fragility. And I was trying to be mean. It's just, come on. We got to learn this stuff. Like, we got to learn it now. And it's not for beginner women who are just learning, because they'll be like, oh my God, how dare you? And they'll be offended in this and that. But I want you to see that video, because what I said was kind of from the heart. White women have not historically been good to Black people. And yes, it's a generalization, but it's a true one. Okay. Sure. There have been individual white people who have, of course. But overall, no, we haven't. And it from way back when. And so that video goes over, it's about 3 minutes and 45 seconds or something. And I go over the quick history, and then I name like 10 things that white women need to start doing and paying attention to and stepping up to the plate for. And I'm very blunt about it. So don't hate on me, or do whatever you want. I'm not trying to be rude, but we got to get this stuff. We got to get this stuff. It's way past time. So blah. So people will probably hate me for it, but I'll live. Some Black people won't, and that's sick. So never mind me. Thank you for that book recommendation. Anybody listening, I gotta get that. When I hear something for the second time, I'm in. Mr. F.S. Black, all of the white people I've ever seen or spoken to in my adult life, you're one of the few who are not content with going along with the status quo of this white supremacist system. Yeah, I bet. It's really weird. I don't quite get that, and I have no answer for it. And I'm not as nice as I was about it. I used to be like, oh, like 10 years ago, I was like, maybe they just don't get it. Like 10 or 15 years, or like maybe like, and now I'm really not as sweet and nice. And yeah. So anyway, thank you for that compliment. And yeah, that's kind of what I found too. And let me tell you, when you try to teach white people, even as a white people, whew, it gets ugly. I've been, when I was on, I got the honor of being on Philip Scott's show. He's the African diaspora. And he asked me this question. Like, I didn't know what he was going to ask me, but I was like, I don't care. Ask me anything. I'm pretty open. I mean, pretty open, I think. And he goes, what do white men say to you? He goes, what do they say to you? When they see my videos? Well, I mean, I don't put all my comments through on my YouTube, obviously, because, half of them are like, go die in hell. And I said, this is what probably one of the most prevalent mean things they say is they say, I hope a Black person rapes you. I'm like, okay, that's random, because that's their sick, like projection of what cruelty is. That's what they would probably do. And he was like, what? Talk about. And I'm like, yeah, that's the worst thing I get. And it doesn't faze me. I just think, wow, that's a person who's like really demented. They are so kind of like brainwashed, I guess, or whatever. That, I mean, it's bad. It's bad how much people just go about their business, but that's probably the worst of it. But I think the most common thing is the 30 cliche classic denials of racism. There's only about 30, and I put them in every video I have. I probably have 10 or 15 videos on them. And there aren't many more. There's not many more, because people aren't original. And if you know how to debunk those, you don't have to be mean. If you're white, you find your own style, your own way. I'm kind of crafty about it. I'm really not into confrontation, but if somebody is overtly racist in front of me at the mall or wherever, I say, excuse me, what did you say? And then I say, excuse me, what? And I know that's really bitchy. And if they're going to say it, they're going to say it out loud, and they're going to say it proud, and they're going to say it so everyone can hear. And yes, if they have any sense of humanity, they'll be mortified, and that's my way. Some people go nuts at them. I just say, really? And then I will educate them and do what I can do. And that's happened a few times, but it doesn't happen very much. Most people aren't idiots. They're not going to be like overtly racist but I'll tell you one thing. When I went to do that video at the Trump rally before 2016, I was there to question them and do an interview. They saw me and they said, come on over. They assumed I was one of them because I'm white, I guess. And I was like, holy shit. So of course I like didn't mention that, like, yeah, no, I don't know. Hmm. I don't um, support or sit and watch people like these people. And but it was really freaky because I was about to just tell them like it is. I'm a, I'm an anti-racist, a person who promotes anti-racism. I am absolutely appalled by the fact that people are voting for Trump. And then when they just were like, "Oh, come here," and I'm like, maybe I should shut up. These guys are way far gone than I thought. So I just kept quiet, and I left before they pretty much. One of them had a gun on him, and it was like it was bad. He's like, he actually stalked me, found me online, and said I should have killed you. I'm like, do you realize like you're typing I should have killed you? Like, what an idiot. But anyway, I did an interview there and I had to leave before I was it was interesting. My heart was pounding, let's put it that way. But I'm glad I did it. It really revealed, it didn't teach me anything, but it revealed something that was good for me to see the real, like, this stuff's real. These people truly believe this. Scared. Nails and glitter, girl, evil is evil. Yeah, I know. But for me, and I'll just say it one more time, evil is evil. But for me, if there's a chance we can somehow create a more perfect union by getting away from Trump, being with Trump and staying with him, we know what that's about. We're with him now. But so staying is only going to just keep that up. And some people feel like they should keep it up because we need to get into a civil war and we need to have it out because we never quite made it there. But for me, and this is just my own personal thing, I'm not telling people how to vote, how to do this or that. This isn't about Republican and Democrats. This is about whether we have a chance to somehow, in some way, get this back to the at least all the people for once. Get it back so that we're Trump took us back like 100 years, okay? He's really, it might be too late. Bring us back to maybe where we were and help us to form a more perfect union, not for white people, for everybody. And the minute, if Trump doesn't win, oh God, please no, and Biden does, that is the beginning of my work personally. That's the way I feel. I am going to be all, that is like rejuvenated. I'm going to be all over every politician, all over getting people to, we got to work him over so he starts getting it. And Trump will never get it. Trump's the de facto modern leader of the Ku Klux Klan. He's going to get it. He doesn't want to get it. But anyway, that's kind of my thing. But I know, nails and glitter. I know. Ugh. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. It's how you feel. Wait, abolitionists, modern day Democrats, and soft spoken Republicans. Yeah, we just don't have much power. As I wish that the politicians would do better. I wish they would absolutely just say it like it is. Say it like they were preaching to a choir, like they just say it for real. They're all worried about being elected, and oh, don't even get me started. Okay, the YouTube streams being messed up. The YouTube streams being messed with. We are hitting a topic that hit home. It is. Do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Tell me more. I'm so lost tonight. Tell me more. Like, are you talking about the stream isn't work? Oh, the stream isn't working, or there? Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Nails and glitter. Yes, we are so screwed no matter who wins. Yeah, probably. Let me see here. Okay. Dang, I'm so behind. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm losing it. I'm so behind. I'm going to catch up to everybody. Sorry about that. Because I get like, I keep ranting whenever I see something. Sorry. Backing it up, backing it up. Okay, I'm caught up. Let me see. Lee, we blacks are pulling out the vote, out of the vote this year. Yeah, I know a lot of people are. And I think that's why Trump's going to win probably. And, you know, I get it. I get it. I understand it. I still have this stupid little stinking thing called hope for this screwed up nation. And it's probably because I'm white. I don't know. Some black people have hope, some don't. I still have this crazy feeling, this crazy thing that if we could somehow, and I'm probably crazy. I mean, maybe it's the end of our democratic republic. And you know what? So be it. I didn't want it to happen in my lifetime, but hey, whatever. Um, but the fall of Rome, if you study the fall of Rome, this is what we do. We either decide to act human or we get taken over as dictator. And I promise you, all people, and I don't mean this as a threat, I don't know. I hope this doesn't happen, but this is kind of how it works, is that you hold out your vote. And I don't know if it'll be enough to let Trump win, but if Trump wins, you won't have a vote. He doesn't want people to vote. He doesn't care if people vote. He would like people not to vote. And I think that's pretty clear. So it could be your last chance to vote. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to tell you what to do, because you know what would that do anyway? You got to believe what you believe in and all that. And I'm all for vote of conscience, holding your vote for conscience. I'm all for that. I get it. I personally, last time I announced this, and I am mortified that it's come to this, I vowed I will not vote for anyone who doesn't have an absolute plan to end systemic racism. And that was kind of how vague I left it. I will not vote for anyone who doesn't have a plan. And I am voting for someone who, I've seen his plan. I haven't read it in detail yet. It's extremely long, but it's not up to my standards personally, because it's not enough. It needs to be dismantled. And it's never going to be enough until it's done and it's dismantled. And this whole incredibly racist system in America is just like an old nightmare that you read about in a history book. And so it's not going to be enough. But because it's come to this, I truly believe that our democratic republic is over and we will be a dictatorship, like has happened in many other countries who lose their democracy, or whatever we'd call this, oligarchy, or I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a pseudo, corrupt, whatever. But if systemic racism is not going to be dismantled, I said I will not vote for anybody. And I've changed my mind, because now I've changed my mind. I'm not proud of it, but now I realize it's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's about this country turning into a dictatorship. And unfortunately, it might be too late. I think that's where we're going. He's cheated so much. He's cheated like crazy. I documented 23 ways he's cheated that are like legit kind of good for a corrupt person. Good ways he's cheated. So he's really cheated. I mean, like, even with the post office stuff, it might be too late. He's shut down things. He's been very, very, very crafty with it. And I'm smiling because I want to scream, because he's getting away with it. He found the loopholes in our Constitution, and he's circumventing every last freaking one of them. Because I guess a lot of people thought that these were real laws and rules, but some of these things were just, I guess you could call them, I guess they would be called traditions, maybe traditions, kind of. And they're traditions that don't have there's no enforceability with them. You can't enforce them. So anyway, shut me up. Let me keep going. But yes, Lee, I am very aware of that, and it's devastating because I'm an idealist. I still have this little teeny weeny bit of hope that I told you, I don't want to live in it's all about me, right? I don't want to live in a society where my neighbor's starving when we have food everywhere. I don't want to live in a society where my neighbor person out there is homeless when I have a home. That's sick. I don't want to live in a society that has a for-profit healthcare system. That's fucked up. For-profit. That's unconscionable. That's us. for-profit system of jails and prisons. God, it is. I don't want to live in a world where my neighbor can't afford to get the medicine, so they die of something that is absolutely treatable. That's sick. It's just sick. Like, I need to say this. Okay, blab over. Standing on truth. Totalitarian, relating to a system of government that is centralized and dictatorial and requires complete subservience to the state. A totalitarian regime. Pretty much. That's what it's come to. He's above the law right now. Right now, as we speak, the man is above the law. And we don't even know the half of it. I mean, we're going to, if he is ever out of office, we don't know the half of it, of all the stuff that he's done. Oh my God. Nails and Glitter says, Lee, yes, I've been saying, Lee, specifically, what are the ways that racism is taught? Oh my God. I can't go over them all. There's just like 5 billion of them. It's taught through whitewashed history. It's taught through denial. It's taught through television, media, families, your friends, teachers, relatives, parents, sisters, brothers. Let me see. It's taught through lies. It's taught through propaganda. Oh my God, the propaganda. Like, if you read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, she teaches us that as everything, as white folks, the white masses, not the wealthiest elites. I'm talking about the white masses who like aren't like billionaires and millionaires and all that stuff. They get together. And whenever they start coming together with Black, brown, indigenous people who are not considered Caucasian, I guess you could say, and thinking, we share a common plight. This is bullshit. The middle class is shrinking. Trump's given money to the wealthiest people because they're like his buddies. There's no trickle down economics. Give me a break. Everybody knows that if you've been in school for 1 minute. And he's taking away our civil and human rights, trying to stop Social Security. Are you freaking kidding me? It's not even his money. He's destroying our post office. He's doing all these things, and we're letting them. And people are watching. It is in the air, like Obama said. I can give you a list, but that's as close as I'll get tonight, because I will get on a rampage. Okay? It is everywhere. In the way people talk, the way people think, the way teachers, the way doctors. Oh my God. There are studies of doctors who give less pain medication. And these are people who vowed to like save lives and all that. And they don't mean it. That's how ingrained it is. There was a study done, appendicitis study done. And this is like kind of a famous one and they didn't talk to the doctors. They just did the math. Black children are given less medicine by a significant amount for pain when they have appendicitis. That's a very painful thing to have. Okay. Stuff like that. It teaches us the truth that racism is here and living. Teachers and it doesn't even matter like what's going on. So into our subliminal like mindset, they route, if it's a mixed classroom with white kids, black kids, brown kids, everybody, they route Black kids into the low groups before they get their test scores. I mean, I was a former teacher. I was a special ed teacher and a regular ed teacher. And I worked in Compton during the LA riots. And okay, that was a bug. I don't think I caught it. But it's everywhere. I don't even know how to explain it. It's everywhere. So specifically how it's taught, I'll have to like make you a list. It's in the air we breathe. And a lot of it's very subtle and subliminal. It's in the way you walk in a store. I can walk in a store and I don't have to buy anything. I don't think twice about it. My Black friends, some of them, not all of them, but some of them feel a little bit weird because they'll think they stole it or whatever. Maybe they couldn't find what they wanted. They were looking for one thing. I've done that before. I don't think twice about it, and that's not right. And I see it, and it's like, wow, it's unbelievable. There's a lot of ways. Specific, Mr. F. Black. I refuse to ever vote until candidates are willing to truly do something for Black people to earn our vote. Understandable. Weena. I don't know what that means. Okay. Let me just catch us. School teaches a lot of racism. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. A good point, Patrice. Very, very good point. English literature teaches racism. Oh, yeah. Look up white and black in the dictionary. Yeah. Lee, are your children mixed? No. I have 2 biological children who are from my fat belly. They are white. My husband is white. Not that anyone needs to know, but everyone thinks, oh, you just love Black people. I'm like, no, I love all people. And I hate people who aren't nice. And it doesn't matter what shade they are. In the 11th hour of when I was too old to have kids, we adopted our 3rd daughter. And she actually is, oh my God, my baby. But, and I don't talk too much about my kids on the show because I've gotten death threats and it's just not worth it to me. But no, my kids aren't mixed. I'm trying to think. My husband met his first Black person when he was 18. We were in the process of adopting a little boy from Guatemala, and it fell through. And then we adopted, we had to switch countries. And the only country open to us was Ethiopia. And my husband was really afraid because he said, oh my God, I'm not, he was like, we live up in the woods. At the time, we lived up in the woods in the forest, and there was only white people. And he said, I just don't think it's fair to have her story told or his story told. And it was a really big thing because he's a private person. I'm not. I'm blabbing to the world. So we finally decided that we were going to go for it. And we lost our first child that we tried to adopt because it fell through on the day of the adoption. And then we got the chance to adopt another child, and she's my baby. And I love her more than life itself. And a lot of people are like, oh, you just do this because you have a kid from Ethiopia. It's like, whatever you want to think. I've been doing this since I was 23 years old, and I did not have a kid when I was 23. I didn't have a child till I was like old mom, But anyway, no, my kids aren't mixed, but my family is. My sister's husband's from India, and my mom's husband's half Chinese. So I mean, my family is just everything. We have every religion except we don't have any Muslims in our family, but we have every religion, agnostic. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Thank you, Standing on Truth. Michelle, I hope you're here still. Oh my gosh. And if that's a picture of you, you are so pretty. Oh my God. If that is you, I don't know what your little thing is, but you are like, wow. Sorry, I'm very upfront. Jillian, I hope you're here still. I've been blabbing and blabbing. It's going okay. It's a rough day. Sophie. Okay. I'm gonna take this. I live, Sophoni. I hope I am saying your name right. If I'm not, please forgive. I live in an all-white neighborhood, and all I learned is to be set apart. But at the same time, I learned the struggle of what Black people go through. All I learned is to be set apart. Do you mean that you learned like that Black and white people stay apart? Is that kind of what you mean? Please explain more, because I'm not like 100% sure. But I think what you're saying is that you, by being around Black people, you kind of saw what they were going through. There is nothing better than becoming close friends with someone who doesn't look like you, to understand their plight and understand what they go through. That's what Dixon White did. He got a roommate in college that was black, and he became really good buddies with him. And the guy had the kind of maturity and kindness and strength of character to teach him. And he took him under his wing, basically. And Dixon saw the difference because it was really damn obvious. He saw his friend getting pulled over by police when everyone was there. Why'd they pull his friend? You know, he saw the treatment. He saw it firsthand and he got it. And there is nothing better than, well, let me just put it this way. Let's do the inverse. Let's say that you're a white person and you have no friends that don't look exactly like you. Okay? Much more likely that you are going to hold very, very racist beliefs within yourself, whether you know it or not. You know, it's a fact. There's only two things or three that studies have shown that helps people to become more open. And that is traveling around the world, you know, because then you realize, oh my God, they're just like me. They're human. Gee, you know, their culture is, wow, we do that, you know, and direct anti-racism education. And that's why I truly believe it should be in every single school in the United States from pre-K to 12. Not once a week, not as a special, not on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, not on February, every single day. Because we got to unteach what so much of this nation's about. And it's possible. I know it is. We just don't want to. Because then the white people, the white masses, and Black, brown, and indigenous people are going to realize we have a common plight. The wealthiest elites are the ones who are destroying the middle class, our chances to have the American dream, our chances to be happy and not work, eat, and sleep, to barely get by. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. Work, eat, and sleep to barely get by. Because even the middle class and upper middle class folks are doing that now. And it is by design. It's called capitalism on steroids, what I call it. But, you know, steroids make you crazy. It's like overdone. So let me shut up now. I hope I'm representing you right, Safani. I don't know if I am. Jillian, so are you nervous now that the election's 2 months away? Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous just because I keep hearing these people going, oh, we're going to start a war. I mean, these people are crazy. You saw what that little psycho 17-year-old did. I think he was aided and abetted by the police. They cheered him on, basically. And they told him, like, oh, yeah, you know, you're helping us or whatever. I mean, this is out of control. So, yeah, I'm just more scared, not whether he wins or loses. That's, you know, he's cheated enough that he probably will win because he's cheated. Remember the video I did, 23 ways that he's cheated in very significant ways, like really significant. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I am. I was like, should we be in the country when this happens? Because he's a cult following, you know, like a cult following. And I'm sorry, it's sick. If you support Trump, then you support bigotry, racism, corruption, lies, inhumanity. You can't support someone who is that overtly doing it, you know, and not be it yourself. He keeps saying, when I'm president, I'm going to, it's like, dude, you are president. This is crazy. People are brainwashed. It's so scary. But yeah. I'm very, how about you? What do you guys think? Are you like, eh? Or are you like, because I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Lee, what ways are racism taught around you and demographic? That's what you were, okay, that's what you were asking. One way they're taught is by saying nothing. We're colorblind. We don't say, oh no, like that is a really rough way to go because immediately when your parents won't talk about it, You're not an idiot. You see that once you get to a certain age, you're like, oh yeah, people are different shades. Oh yeah, it's like natural. It's normal to go, oh yeah, like this, that. When your parents don't talk about it, that's teaching you racism right there. That's teaching you that it's a bad thing. When they shush you, when you're 4 and you say, oh, let me see your, somebody has brown skin. I want to, you're a baby, you don't know. And they say, oh, don't do that. No, stop. And I'm not saying that they should say, yeah, attack the person, but when they flip shit because you dared to say the word black, I mean, that's kind of a hint that, wow, they think that's a bad thing. Kids aren't born that way. Kids don't give a shit. They'll play with anybody. They don't know. They don't care. They just want to play. It's taught. And it's taught really well in the society. So funny. Yep, I was raised in an all white society. Oh my goodness. Now, are you a person who is black, brown, indigenous, or African American? Or that's because it kind of matters from, then I'll understand your question better, basically. Um, Lee, who is better, Trump or Biden? Um, in my mind, I'm going to say Biden. I wouldn't say better. He's the lesser of the two evils because, like I said, we have a chance. I'm hopeful. Okay, yeah, it's a long shot that we'll ever get this country back to where it was, and then be able to move on. I mean, where it was, like when Obama was there. Like I thought we were slightly heading in the right, not fast, not at the speed I want, but I thought we were kinda like at least a snail's pace. But now we're whoa, way. Oh, if he could, he'd take us 150 years back. I know he would. I see what he's trying to do. I mean, I read a lot, and a lot of the stuff's not even in the news. You got to really dig. He's freaking evil. He wanted to try to change the definition of racism in government, so that intention had to be a part of it for any lawsuit to count. The man is fucking evil. And if people don't know that by now, then there's nothing I can do. I'm out. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah. So none is better, but one wants to be a dictator like Kim Jong Un. And I used to work for a company that I used to earn money for them, actually, that took people who made it past the border of China and North Korea into safe houses so they wouldn't be pulled into human trafficking. And I earned money from, I didn't do the actual, very, very risky, very, it's an interesting company. It's a good company. So I knew a little bit about this kind of thing. And I'll tell you, you don't want to vote? Go for it. But this might be the last one if he has his way. Kim Jong-un, they don't vote. If they vote, they all have to vote the same way, or it's it. So, I mean, you know what a dictatorship is. He wants to be it. So, yeah, there's a difference. Sorry, that's just my take. It could be because I'm white. It could be because I'm pragmatic. It could be because I see Hitler in him. And it could be because one's a chance, the other one's a chance that maybe things could get better, and one's a given that they won't. So to me, it's false equivalency, 100%. Jillian, Black people are actually conservative when it comes to vote, but we don't vote Republican because they're open white supremacists. Yeah, I know. Your white supremacy is showing. Okay, tell me how. Gary, Biden is better, but you couldn't be worse than Trump, right? Yeah, that's kind of the key. The Congressman Clay Higgins, a Republican from Louisiana, just made a threat against Black people. Really? Please post it if you can. Let me see. Blonde. No one wants white people to apologize for being white. Just demand a spineless judiciary and a DA's office to lock up lawless cops. Hell yes. I don't apologize for being white. That's ridiculous. And if I sound like I do, then please forgive me. I didn't do it. I was born this way. I have nothing to do with it. And Lee, I asked you about reparations and you shifted to getting rid of racism. I consider them kind of one and the same. And I don't know if that's my white supremacy is showing. I was taught, Lee. I mean, if that's what you think, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not like going to be defensive. I was taught that it's not okay. I have like these mentors that work with me. In fact, I just talked to one of them today for like an hour, and they tell me, and they've taught me that is not my place. That is not my place to tell my plan for reparations because I'm a white person. That's like they say that that's not. They've taught me that's not my lane. That I don't have a right to even, and I never even said a word about it until so many people were saying, just at least say you support them. Of course I support them. Of course I do. But my plan for reparations isn't inconsequential. Black people have to, it's their plan. It can't be my plan. That's like the white supremacist knows better. I don't know if that's making sense to you, but who cares what I think? I guess is a good way to put it. It's not my place to push my ideas. It's the Black community has to come up with what they want and demand what they want, and then I'll support it. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense too. But I switched it to racism because that's kind of really all I can talk about is that I see systemic racism and white people take part in it. But I absolutely support reparations. And that's not my place to say what numerical amount. Okay, so I hope you get that. I hope just ask me if you have questions, ask. So I hope that answers your question. Economics is the key. Absolutely. But economics that, so you've probably never seen it in my videos. I have videos that try to explain how that gazillion ways that white folks over the years have made sure that Black, Brown, and Indigenous people do not accumulate wealth to pass on to the next generation. That's how capitalist economy works. You got to kind of do that. And we've made sure that we've done everything in our damn power to make sure that they can't. And lo and behold, some people have done it anyway. And it's amazing. So yeah, but I hope, Lee, I'm explaining right. You're having a lot of great questions. But I'm not sure if I wish that it was like more banter back and forth because I'd be able to know like if I was on track to whatever. EFILWV. Hello. Is your name Karen? No. God, do I seem like a Karen? EFIL. I never enslaved anyone. You know what? That is so cool. I never enslaved anyone either. But I, as a person who is paying attention, I benefit. And anyone in the US benefits who's white. How do you think we got that rich? How do you think we got to be a wealthy country so fast? We've only been around 243, am I doing my math right? Years, maybe? Or I don't know. We did it because we had free labor. We had people who we deemed non-human. So we could do horrific things to them and force them to work for free. And it made our nation wealthy. And that's something that we need to kind of get with the program with. Nobody said you owned slaves. It doesn't matter. But that's how we got wealthy. And that is what got our nation to prosper. All right? So it's a painful thing. I would say, think about that. Take it with you. Come back in a week and see how you feel. You need to process that. Let me see. Devil's advocate. Okay. If I had to do it all over again, would you marry a Black man or another man who is a minority? Seems like society still has a problem with mixed relationships. You're so funny. I don't go by that. I don't go by like shades. I mean, I was never into blonde. No offense to blonde. I'm not into like, I was always into people with brunette. Are you talking about me? If you had to do it over again, I've dated people who are non-white before, but I don't go by like the shade of the person. I go by like their heart and their character and their like. So that's kind of a. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't really answer that. I've loved people of all shades, so it's not the shade; it's the person. Depends who it was. I guess you could say. If I had to do it all over again, I'd find someone who I thought I couldn't imagine my life without. And that would be that. And if they were brown, if they were black, if they were white, if they were pink, if they were peach, peach, because we're not really white unless you're albino, then that'd be them. I don't go by that. So, but good question. Some people do. I just don't. I don't have like this like affinity to like, well, I really love this, right? I'm just not. I've looked for fetishes and I've looked for them and I don't got any so far. Sorry, kitchen politics. I admit nothing. Just kidding. Baby fever, yada, yada. I don't know what that means. You can be white, male, and oppressed, Of course. Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. Blacks are not the only victims in the world. What about autistic people, Native American, Mexican kids in internment camps? Oh my God, yes. I do videos on all those things. You got to check out EFIL. Check out my videos. I have like a bazillion of them. I did so many videos on that. But this channel is basically it can cover anything. It's anti-racism. It's anti, it's bigotry, inequality. Oh my God, I have tons on inequality. Yes, I do. And corruption. I have a lot in corruption. So you gotta watch. Oh, stand on truth. I will. Oh wait, let me go back. Okay, so somebody's mad at me. I guess I don't know. Yeah, so check out. I tend to go with like what everyone's talking about, but I have stuff on gun control, like human rights, you name it. You name it, I got it. EFIL. Blacks are not the only victims. Okay, I read that. Stand on truth. I will go and watch it. Your video on white women. Once I am done watching you. Oh, okay, cool. It's kind of intense. Thank you. That would be awesome. Okay. Who are you talking to? Dwayne. Oh my gosh, I hope you're still here. Yay. I'm going to get Dwayne to come on the show soon. Let me go back up. Stand on truth. Thank you. I mean, it's one of my more honest, brutally honest, because I have nice videos and I have rant videos and I have brutally honest. That's a brutally honest one. Kitchen politics. You are, okay, I'm not going to read that, but I'm not going to, if that's how you feel, I understand. I'm okay with, it's okay. But thank you for protecting me, Mr. Kitchen Politics. Dwayne, I hope you're still here. As a black man, I don't discuss or care to have the opinions of white people on reparations. Thank you. What it should be or should amount to is up to us and nobody else. Thank you. And that's kind of my thing. And only very recently have people like bug me about it, or say point blank, I think you need to say a statement that you support it. And so I did. And I do. And that's not hard to do. It's because I do. But me giving my like detailed 2 cents, no. It's what Mr. FS Black said. That, yes, that. EFIL. Every white person is privileged. LOL. Every white person. Okay, let me explain privilege really fast for you. Just for you. Okay? White privilege does not mean that you are rich. It does not mean that you don't work hard. It does not mean you had everything handed to you. It doesn't mean that you've had all the great wonders of the world given to you. It means that you might have a lot of problems. It doesn't mean you're happy. What it means is that your problem in life is not going to be the color of your skin, why people treat you like shit. Okay. That's not going to be one of your problems. You will be given, for most of the time, the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Black people, sometimes they will be, but most of the time, in general, they will not be given the benefit of the doubt. And that's all it means. People have taken that term and made it ludicrous and made it into something very, very ridiculous. Okay. So try to get with what it really is. The less economic privilege you have as a white person, every white person doesn't have the same amount of privilege. If you're a really wealthy white person, you got a hell of a lot of that. You have economic privilege plus white privilege, which equals an additional everything. If you're a white person and you are economically not privileged, then no, you will have a little bit less. Okay. But your biggest problem from society isn't going to be that you're white. And that's all it is. So you can twist it any way you wish. Is that a fantasy of yours? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't really have any fantasies. Sorry, I'm boring. But you can, I'll answer anything you want. Something's a fantasy of mine, but if it is, I want it out. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what you're referring to. To be honest, I have no clue. So tell me down below. Cookie217, welcome to the show. If you're still here, I'm blabbing away. How do you deal with the mental stress of fighting against racism? It's a good question. You know what helps me is, see, as a white person, I don't have to. It's a choice. Granted, I do 24/7 and then I wouldn't do anything different, but I can walk away and pretend I don't give a shit. And that makes it a choice. So it's not as bad as if I was living it and trying to educate and trying to make a difference and you know what I mean? So it's like it's not the same because I'm not living it. I'm making myself delve into it and all that, but I hope that makes sense. Let me see. So I hope that answers your question. It is really lately I've been trying to force myself to take breaks because it's heartbreaking what Trump's doing. He's brought out people who have been waiting for, I don't want to say it collectively, for generations, because we have never stepped up to the plate and owned up to this nation and our mistakes and our racism and this and that. Technology's grown and grown, and human evolution just can't seem to keep up. So it's a toughie. It's a toughie. Everyone has to find their own way. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but there's nothing I'd rather be doing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing more important than making sure that we use our white privilege to stand up for what's right, not to get credit, not to be the leader, to act like a goddamn human. And I truly believe that. So good question. Okay, EFIL, and it came out as a story of an insult that never happened. I don't really get what you mean. So you have to like explain yourself better. EFIL, I want to respond, but I like, since there's no like feedback, I don't really know what you mean. Tell me what you mean. Here comes the troll showing their white fragility. Oh yeah, yeah, yep. Now I'll just ignore them. A professor came up with that word. It's a word from academia that's been taken and kind of made into whatever, you know, just again, people will twist things to deny it. Just folks who don't understand white privilege and don't want to is because they're in denial. It's like they're not ready. When they're ready, they'll catch on. I believe in them, but they're not ready. EFIL. I feel so privileged. White male living on SSI, depressed out of my mind, never got laid in 6 years. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not good. But It doesn't have to do with your white skin. That's all it is. So you got to like, it's not, got to stop taking this personally. You have white privilege. You clearly don't have economic privilege. You clearly don't have, I don't know, sex privilege. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Um, so there's thousands of privileges, and they're not distributed equally. Okay, white privilege is one of a gazillion. It's not. I mean, I'm not sure. I think, to be honest, you got to like take it and like let it, just think about what I'm saying, and not, you can't like process this if you're not into it. You got to process it over like days, not just like get it. Yeah, if you're a very not well off person, and I mean this nation, there's an equivalent to white privilege, and on the other side, and it's not the same, but boy oh boy does it matter. It is our values. Capitalism on steroids. We have no mental health program in this country. We have none. And it's not your fault. It's capitalism on freaking steroids. Unchecked. There's no reason on the planet there shouldn't be health care, mental and physical, for every single American. We're a wealthy nation. We just don't want to. And that is why whenever the white masses see a common plight with people who are brown, black, indigenous, and non-Caucasian, somebody from the ruling elite makes up a bullshit and lie to separate us. Okay? Because that's their worst fear, is that we'll get together and see a common plight and say, we're done. We're done with this. And I am so doing it again, looking up. Let me read you this. And I should really just keep this on a note card, but let me just look it up. Okay, I will show you. Yep, I got to spell this right. I'm panicking here. Sorry for the delay. Yep, here it is. I always find it. Lyndon B. Johnson once said, it's very antiquated, and I should just say this every show no matter what, and this is what we do. President Lyndon B. Johnson once said, it's antiquated, it's rude, but I'm going to say it because you need to know. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him someone to look down upon, and he'll empty his pockets for you. And that's what we, as white people, we have fallen for the con. We have a common plight with, unless you're a billionaire or whatever, a multimillionaire, we have a common plight with black people, African American people, brown people, indigenous people, Israel, whatever you say, we have a common plight. Okay, so we've been fooled. It's not you, into believing that they're the bad guy. No, the bad guys are the wealthiest elites who make laws that make them richer and make us struggle we work for them, and we can't even make ends meet. And a lot of people are struggling. It's not just people who are impoverished. It's not just the middle class. It's the upper class and the upper middle class too. Okay, we're going down in this country. It's because we won't educate ourselves. We have a common plight. Our nation for the last 50 years has not been working for the people. Okay, not all the people, that's for sure. They've been working pretty much for the wealthiest elite. That's why our middle class is gone. I don't want to get into it, but so it is not your fault. EFILWV. Sorry, it's not your fault. Okay, it's the system. It's screwed up. Now, the part about getting laid in 6 years is like, join the club, honey. No, just kidding. But yeah, really, no, that I can't speak to. I don't know you. Okay, but okay. I am sorry that you have had horrific luck. because a lot of it is kind of luck. I hate to say it. Okay. All right. And you might be oppressed, but it's not because of your color or skin. And that's what we discuss here. So, okay. Dwayne. Oh, Kimberly Ann, EFILWV is a racist troll. He must be doing something right. If the guy wants to act like a victim, white males have never been discriminated against. Yeah. For white males, his white maleness is not his problem. It's not gonna be his problem. It doesn't mean you don't have problems. Right. It just means your whiteness isn't part of it. If you can differentiate that, I think you'll understand. I'm not worried about him at all. I hope that's okay with you guys. I know he might be annoying to you, but not to me at all. I don't have a problem with it. He doesn't seem. Hey, I think he's actually been fine. I mean, fine for me. But anyway, oh, you're married. Get their money. You're funny. I got up. All right. Well, oh, Ghost Killa, I didn't know you were here. But thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody being here. I wanted to just get into a little bit of content if we could, for a few more minutes. I have a mean rant. Want to hear my mean rant? I have a bunch of stuff. Let me just, I'll finish. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Fox News Sunday is going to host the first, not this Sunday, September 29th. There's going to be a presidential debate in Cleveland, and I'm going to do what I always do, or I try to always do, is a chat party. I'm going to try to do a chat party for all the debates if I can. I might skip one, but I'm not sure. So, but Ghost Killa, thanks for being here. I know you probably got a Betty bye. The next one is Miami on October 15th, moderated by C-SPAN. The Fox News moderating? Oh my God, that's going to be insane. I'm just saying. The next one is October 22nd on NBC, and then there's going to be a one vice president debate on October 7th. And I'm going to try to do all of them as a chat party. And what a chat party is, if you're not familiar with it, is simply you come on and we watch the show, you know, whatever it is. It could be interesting, boy, what, and we comment in real time so we can, you know, chat about it in real time and watch together. Because a lot of people don't really have somebody that they, you know, want to or can watch with, especially with COVID. So watch with me. I'd appreciate it. I don't have anybody to watch with at my house. I'd like to watch, and sometimes I just watch, but sometimes I'll comment and stuff. So there's that. And I will do a chat party for that. And I'm going to do my rant, and then I'll see if people are tired and just want to go to bed. I still have an hour of work to do after we talk, but I'm really happy about tonight that I got to like talk to people and everything. My rant's a little goofy, but you know what? Things are getting goofy. Okay, so don't laugh. Trump is really something else, which, duh, right? He's jumping through hoops. He's lying. He's fabricating stuff. He's putting on a farce of a show. He's panicking. He's tweeting. He's disparaging everybody. This all seems like so much work when all he really has to say is, I'm a racist piece of shit and I love white supremacy. I like honesty. I'm just saying, I do. He should say that. And he should say, I love when cops murder people and I love devastating people who aren't rich and white. And I want to be the dictator of the country, and I want to rename America Trumperica, where all barbaric evil treatment of human beings is admired and rewarded. But he's not even doing that. At least if you're going to be a racist, be a good one and step up to the plate and own it. I'm just saying, I would rather have him stop all this BS and drama. My God, the drama. But I think he likes drama. I mean, it would go over just as well if he would just say, I'm a racist piece of shit. I'm going with it. I don't know. I want to know what you think. The show he put on at the RNC was both laughable and extremely disturbing to me. The lies were out of control. They weren't even based in reality. They weren't even, I mean, if you're going to lie, be a good liar. That's what I tell my kids. Don't make up ludicrous shit. Okay. The show he put on in Kenosha was a joke, embarrassing. I don't know if you guys saw that. Of the literally thousands of protests in cities, towns, rural areas, urban areas, suburban areas, big and small, there were protests like I've never seen. Okay. Saying we want police reform. Okay. And a lot of other things. Trump can only focus on one little thing, praising police who murder Black people and saying that there was some property damaged. What the actual, you know what? Does he understand percentages? I think not. It's almost chilling how he circumvented the entire point. Police in America are out of freaking control and have been since the beginning. It's sick, depraved, and it needs to stop. Okay? He'd rather make this big. I mean, all he has to say is that. It's so simple. Admit the truth. But he is jumping through hoops to lie, fib, and trick his, I don't know what, constituency. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that he had him at racist. After that, nothing else mattered. Because nothing else does matter. It just would seem, you know? Some people, I'm guessing, are so fucking racist in this society that nothing else matters. They will vote against their own best interest just to make sure they uphold racism. That's screwy. So I hereby declare anyone who votes for Trump has got to be delusional. Police even admit that there's, I mean, it's like, God, police have been abusing our own citizens for centuries. And white America is finally starting to open our eyes. And the public, for the most part, agrees. We want an end to the sick treatment. It needs to stop. All Trump had to do was address the issue. But instead, he turned into, and it wasn't a big turn, he was already there with the, hello, Central Park 5. Have you heard about this? Have you seen what he did with his housing? He's a racist piece of shit. His parents were Klan. But all he had to do was address the issue. But instead, he's the grand freaking wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. If you support Trump, in my book, you are no better than Klan because he's evil. He does cruel, sick things to people. If Trump's treatment of our fellow humans isn't a deal breaker for you, you're a real sicko. And you guys deserve each other. And I don't mean that to be mean. It's just you do. You deserve each other because ultimately the joke's going to be on you. By the time you catch on, it will be too late. He'll be the next Hitler, and you will either be working for him or in the gas chamber. So heed my warning. And let me tell you, it's not just from me. Many a scholar has said that over and over again. That's where we're headed. So if you support him, good luck with that. We have Nazi Germany to like history. We know what happens. We're next. So pick your side. I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but this is where we're headed. And it's scary as hell. Dwayne, the cops need to be defunded. Kenosha to Minnesota, defund them all and restructure them. I'm into that. 100% agree. 110% agree. Thank you for that. Absolutely. As most of you know, we started as slave patrols. That was the culture, and it really hasn't changed too much. We know what to do to not murder our own citizens with impunity. We just don't want to. And that is the truth. I have video after video of great towns and people who have done amazing things and shown how they can take a city that's having a lot of problems and turn it around. And we just don't want to. And that is white supremacy. And the stupidest thing of it is that police kill white people too. But you know what? As long as they're killing more Black people, we don't give a shit. I don't get it. It's terrifying. Janie, the cops need to have all military equipment taken away. Police do not need to have military equipment and they need to be retrained. Yes, absolutely. Um, it's it's out of control. It looks like a freaking war zone. So, did you guys know that? I mean, there's just so much insane stuff. I'm looking for a drink. I'm very thirsty. There's so much insane stuff. On his trip to Kenosha, Wisconsin, where police, he was shot 7 times. Um, oh my God, sparking all the protests, and Trump did something really bad. I mean, it's just classic him. Yeah, I know. I don't want to, but yeah. Ram says yes. Hmm. Yeah, he's following suit with the proud few evil dictators of our world. He's really damn good at it with the propaganda and the state news and the. Oh, okay, okay, we'll do. I'll consider it. Um, so he made he made up some stuff that was crazy at that trip that he took. Did you guys know? I read this article today. It was like crazy. Um, he okay. Trump conveniently found this guy who he found a dude who would praise him and the federal troops in the same breath outside a camera shop that had been burned down by protesters. Um, and I guess it took a lot of digging because, like, here's the article. Trump introduced him as John Rhodes III, owner of Rhodes Camera Shop, at a roundtable discussion. And John Rhodes III, owner of Rhodes Camera Shop, said, I just appreciate President Trump coming today. Everybody here does. We're so thankful we got the federal troops here. Once they got here, things did calm down quite a bit. Okay, so the Democratic Governor Tony Evers called in the National Guard, not Trump. But John Rhodes III is not the owner of the shop. So Trump, again, was kind of a lying sack of shit. He wasn't the owner of the shop. He didn't own the shop. It was like a fabricated little thing. The guy's a former owner who sold the place 8 years ago, who may have ties to the property, but he hasn't had anything to do with that camera shop other than he might have ties to the property. The actual owner of the real camera shop. So you talk about fudging and making up stuff. He said his name's Tom Graham and the other owner is Paul Willett, and they declined to take part in this little show that Trump wanted them to put on when the White House called them. But they did have something to say. They said, I think everything he does turns into a circus, and I just didn't want to be involved in it, Graham told their local station, TMJ4, which broke the story that it was total BS. That the guy didn't, that wasn't his shop that burned down. He didn't own the camera store or any of the cameras in it or anything. I think he needs to bring this country together rather than divide it, Graham said. I think there's a lot of good people in the community, and to say that only law enforcement is correct is not the message we need to hear right now. And that's, I guess, what he did. So many owners of the damaged businesses have released messages on social media supporting the protests. They're not thrilled that their places have been burned down, but they understand, at least to some degree, that this can't continue. It just can't. So I thought that was very interesting. Um, a quick thing from Robert Reich, and I will say goodnight to everybody because it's getting really late. Let me see. Oh, wait, before I tell you that, I saw something that just killed me. This is Trump's little quote. He has this, his public plan is so fooled. He's telling them, he is actually saying this shit. When I'm president, this is Trump speaking. When I'm president, I'll stop the violence. I will not stand for this protesting and demanding of rights. Okay, excuse me, you are president. Oh my God. And the people are like, yeah, when he's president, he's going to do that. Like, he's so full of it. But the people don't. Oh, it's just so awful. He yells, when I'm president. It's like, Trump, you are president. Like, yeah. This is Robert. He doesn't understand. Trump's supposed to be president to everybody, not just to who he picks and chooses. So, Phony, good night. Good night. Good night. I should be going to bed too. I am extremely happy you were here. Thank you for being here. But yeah, okay. Last thing, Robert Reich. Um, I really love Robert Reich. He's a brilliant guy. He's a professor at Berkeley, and he worked for a number of the administrations. He's an economics guy. He's an artist. He's really good. Trump isn't doing this alone. Fox News is sending his lies to 4.2 million viewers each night. That's state-run media. Twitter's conveying them to his 83 million followers several times a day. Facebook's targeting them to tens of millions. This isn't freedom of speech. It's the seedbed of fascism. This is a guy who's worked in our government most of his life. He's a brilliant professor. And if you see his stuff, he is freaked out. He is believing, like I do, that, and like many, many people, that this is it. This is it. This is the end of our supposed democratic republic. And this is how they end late stage democracy. They either become human or turn dictatorship. Classic. You know which way I think we're going. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. If you have breaking news you think that should be posted to my audience that I have on various platforms, please send it to the address above. I will do my best to check it out and post it. I have to make sure it's legit and all that, because like one wrong post, it's over for me. But I will check out what you have. And I appreciate breaking news from anybody, because I can't keep up with this. If you believe, like I do, that it's way past time for white America to step up to the plate and learn our own racial history and help put an end to systemic racism and help us all grow economically for the middle class, then please consider subscribing and watching my videos that I do. The more you watch my videos, the higher up they go in the, I guess, like to be shown or something like that. So I don't know what the formula is, but it's something. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. So good night, everybody. And thank you so much. My way to get a hold of me is up above somewhere in the comments. And I appreciate you being here. Thanks for talking. This is kind of a, how do I put it? Like, kind of just like a stress out chat, talk, rant, whatever. Because a lot of really tough stuff's going on. And like, you need me to tell you. All right. So thanks for watching. And get a hold of me. And I will get back to you. All right. I'm kind of slow sometimes, but I'll do my best. All right. So stay safe out there. It's obviously, you don't need me to tell you. It's getting worse. And I'm really sad about it. And just stay safe, okay? All right. Good night, everybody. Don't be a stranger. These are lonely, crazy times. So please subscribe if you like what you hear or whatever, or want to check out my stuff. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll be here next Wednesday.